The call came at 3:17 a.m. on a Tuesday in late August, 18 months after Miguel Torres first ran into a parking garage with nothing but a mop and more courage than sense. Miguel woke instantly. Years of interrupted sleep, first with Elena's illness, then with Rosa's nightmares, then with security protocols, had trained him to go from unconscious to alert in seconds. His phone was vibrating on the nightstand. Victoria Kane. She never called in the middle of the night unless something was catastrophically wrong. Miguel. Her voice was tight, controlled, but he could hear the fear underneath. We have a situation. I need you at the main house immediately. Don't wake Rosa. Lock your doors. Command. The line went dead before he could ask questions. Miguel dressed in 40 seconds. Jeans, tactical boots, black shirt. Retrieved his Glock from the gun safe in his closet. Checked the magazine. Holstered it. Moved silently through his house. The house that belonged to him now. The house that was supposed to represent safety and permanence and the end of running. Checked Rosa's room. She was sleeping peacefully, 13 years old now. Taller than she had been when this all started. Her face losing its little girl's softness and showing hints of the woman she would become. Elena's face, more and more every day. Miguel locked her bedroom door from the outside. It was against fire code, but fire was not what worried him tonight. He set the house alarm to maximum, the kind that would alert him and Victoria's security team and the local police if anyone so much as touched a window. Then he stepped out into the August darkness and ran toward the main house. The estate was silent. Too silent. No night birds. No wind in the trees. Just the sound of his boots on the gravel path and his own breathing. The main house was lit up like usual, but something felt wrong. Miguel had spent 18 months learning the rhythms of this place, the patterns of guards and cameras and routine. This was not routine. He entered through the kitchen door, which should have been locked but was not. That sent ice through his veins. He drew his weapon, kept it low, moved through the dark kitchen into the hallway. No guards visible. No one at their posts. The house felt empty, except it was not empty because Victoria had called him. He found her in the security control room, the nerve center of the estate's protection system. She was sitting at the main console, still in her pajamas, her gray eyes fixed on the wall of monitors. Every screen was dark. Every single one. 48 cameras covering every inch of the property, all showing nothing but static. Someone killed our system, Victoria said without looking at him. Her voice was eerily calm. 20 minutes ago, everything went dark at once. Cameras, motion sensors, perimeter alarms, everything. The backup generators kicked in, but the feeds are gone. We're blind. Miguel holstered his weapon, moved to stand beside her, looked at the wall of dead screens. Where are the guards? I sent them to do physical sweeps. All of them. Every building, every entrance, every foot of the perimeter. But Miguel, if someone took out our entire security system, they are not here to steal anything. They are here for me. All for me. Victoria looked at him then. She was 48 now, 2 years older than when they met, and those 2 years had put lines around her eyes that had not been there before. Fear did that. Living under constant threat did that. All for you, she agreed. All for Rosa. The mention of his daughter's name made Miguel's chest tighten. Rosa's locked in her room. House alarm is active. She's safe. Until someone decides she's not. Victoria stood, paced to the window, looked out at the dark grounds. I've been getting messages again. For the past 2 weeks. Encrypted. Untraceable. They started right after the anniversary of James's conviction. What kind of messages? Threats. Details about my schedule. About your schedule. About Rosa's school. Things only someone with inside access would know. I increased security. Had my tech team trace the messages. They got nowhere. And now this. Someone walked right through our defenses like they were not even there. Miguel thought about that. Thought about how much money Victoria spent on security. State-of-the-art systems. The best people. Protocols built by experts. And someone had just shut it all down in seconds. That took resources. Planning. Inside knowledge. You think it's one of your people. I don't want to think that. But yes. Someone on my staff. Someone who's been here long enough to learn the systems. Someone we trusted. Before Miguel could respond, his phone buzzed. Text message from an unknown number. He opened it, felt his blood turn to ice. It was a photo. Rosa's bedroom. Taken from inside the house. From inside his house. Taken tonight. The timestamp said 3:22 a.m. 5 minutes ago. Rosa was visible in the frame, sleeping peacefully, completely unaware that someone had been standing in her room photographing her. Miguel was running before he made a conscious decision to run. Through the house, out the door, across the grounds. Victoria was shouting something behind him, but he could not hear it over the roaring in his ears. Someone had been in Rosa's room. Someone had gotten past his locks, his alarms, his precautions. Someone had stood over his daughter while she slept. He covered the distance to his house in under a minute. The front door was still locked. The alarm panel showed green. No breach detected. But the photo did not lie. Someone had been inside. Miguel unlocked the door, disabled the alarm, moved through the house with his weapon drawn. Living room clay. Kitchen clay. Bathroom clay. Rosa's door was still locked from the outside, the way he had left it. But when he unlocked it and pushed it open, his heart stopped. The window was open. The screen had been cut clean, the edges precise. Rosa's bed was empty. The sheets were thrown back. His daughter was gone. Miguel stood frozen for 3 seconds that felt like 3 hours. Then training took over. He checked the closet, the bathroom, under the bed. No Rosa. No signs of struggle. Just an open window and an empty bed and a father's worst nightmare made real. His phone buzzed again. Another message. Another photo. This one showed Rosa awake now, sitting in the back of a vehicle, her eyes wide with fear, duct tape over her mouth. The message below read, "You should have stayed invisible, Miguel Torres. You should have let her die in that parking garage. Now you pay for your heroism. Instructions coming soon. Tell no one or the girl dies screaming." Miguel's hands were shaking so hard he nearly dropped the phone. Rosa. They had Rosa. His daughter. His reason for living. The only good thing left in his world. Someone had taken her because 18 months ago he made the choice to be brave instead of smart. Because he saved a stranger's life. Because he tried to do the right thing. And now his daughter was paying for it. Victoria appeared in the doorway, breathing hard from running. She saw the empty bed, the open window, Miguel's face, and understood immediately. Oh God, Miguel. No, they took her. His voice sounded strange, distant, like it was coming from someone else. They were in here while I was with you. They cut the alarm, got in through the window, took my daughter. We'll get her back. I promise you. We'll get her back. How? We don't even know who they are, where they took her, why they want her. Miguel looked at Victoria and saw the truth in her eyes. She did not know, had no answers, was as helpless as he was. All her money, all her resources, all her power, and it meant nothing against someone who could disappear a 13-year-old girl from a locked house on a guarded estate. Miguel's phone buzzed again. This time it was not a photo. It was a message. Simple, direct, devastating. You have 48 hours to deliver Victoria Kane to the address we provide. Alone, unarmed. She comes willingly or the girl dies. You tell the police, the girl dies. You try to track this message, the girl dies. You have been warned, hero. Choose wisely. Your daughter's life for hers. Seems fair. Miguel read it twice. Felt the world narrow to a single impossible choice. Save Victoria or save Rosa. The woman who had given him everything or the daughter who was his everything. 48 hours to decide which life mattered more. He looked at Victoria. She was reading the message over his shoulder. Her face had gone white. Miguel, you can't. You can't give me to them. They'll kill me. They'll kill Rosa if I don't. We'll find another way. We'll get the police involved. The FBI. We'll track them down. We'll do nothing that risks my daughter's life. Miguel's voice was flat. Final. I'm sorry, Victoria. You saved my life once. You gave me a home and a job and a future. But Rosa is my daughter. And if I have to choose, I choose her. Every single time. Victoria stared at him. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then she nodded slowly. I understand. I'd make the same choice. But Miguel, you need to understand something. If you give me to them, they'll kill me. And then they'll kill Rosa anyway. Because people like this don't leave witnesses. They don't keep their promises. Your daughter is dead the moment you hand me over. Miguel knew she was right. Had known it the second he read the message. But what choice did he have? Let them kill Rosa without trying? Stand by while his daughter died because he refused to cooperate? That was not an option. Would never be an option. Then we have 48 hours to find her, Miguel said. Before I have to make that choice. Victoria pulled out her phone. I'm calling everyone. Every resource I have. Every favor I can call in. We'll turn this city upside down. We'll find her. No police. No FBI. The message was clear. Miguel, we need help. We need to not get Rosa killed. That's all we need. Miguel holstered his weapon. Tried to think through the panic. Tried to be professional instead of just being a terrified father. Someone on your staff did this. Someone who knows the security systems. Who knew where Rosa's room was. Who had access to cut our feeds and disable our alarms. We start there. We find them. We make them talk. That could take days. We have 48 hours. Then we work fast. The next 6 hours were a blur of interrogations and background checks and desperate searching. Victoria pulled her entire security team in. Miguel questioned each of them personally. Looked in their eyes. Tried to see the betrayal. The guilt. The greed that would make someone kidnap a child. Found nothing. Everyone seemed genuinely shocked. Genuinely concerned. Genuinely innocent. But someone was not innocent. Someone had sold them out. And with every hour that passed, Rosa was farther away, more scared, closer to whatever terrible thing waited at the end of this. At 9 a.m., Miguel's phone rang. Unknown number again. He answered with shaking hands. Hello. Mr. Torres. A man's voice. Older. Educated. Calm. I'm calling to check on your progress. Have you made your decision? Let me talk to my daughter. That's not how this works. Then we have nothing to discuss. Miguel forced steel into his voice. Forced himself to sound in control. I need proof she's alive. I need to hear her voice. Or I assume you've already killed her and this is just a game. There was a pause. Then muffled sounds. Then Rosa's voice, small and terrified. Dad. Mija. Are you hurt? Did they hurt you? I'm scared. I want to come home. I know. Baby. I'm going to bring you home. I promise. Just be brave a little longer. Can you do that for me? Rosa's voice cut off. The man came back on. There. Proof of life. Now. Your decision. You have 40 hours left. The clock is ticking, Mr. Torres. And every hour you delay, your daughter suffers a little more. We haven't hurt her yet. But we will. Choose wisely. The line went dead. Miguel lowered the phone. Looked at Victoria, who had been listening on speaker. She looked as devastated as he felt. She's alive, Victoria said. That's something. For now. They're going to hurt her if I don't deliver you. That wasn't a bluff. I know. So what do we do? Miguel sat down heavily. 18 months ago, he had run into a parking garage to save a stranger. It had seemed so simple then. Someone needed help. He provided it. Hero story. Happy ending. Except there were no happy endings. Just consequences that rippled out forever, hurting everyone you loved. If he gave Victoria to the kidnappers, Rosa might live. Might. Or they would kill them both. If he refused, they would definitely hurt Rosa. Definitely kill her eventually. There was no good choice. No right answer. Just impossible options and a clock counting down to catastrophe. We find them, Miguel said finally. We find whoever took her and we end this. That's the only way Rosa survives. Ow! We've been looking for 6 hours. We found nothing. Then we look harder. But looking harder did not help. They reviewed every second of security footage from before the system went dark. Tracked every vehicle that had come onto the property in the past week. Interviewed every delivery person, every vendor, every guest. Nothing. Whoever took Rosa had planned this perfectly. Had left no traces. No clues. No breadcrumbs to follow. By midnight, 24 hours into the 48-hour deadline, Miguel was ready to break. He sat in Victoria's study while she made calls to private investigators and security consultants and people who claimed they could find anyone for the right price. But none of them had answers. None of them could help. Miguel's phone buzzed. He looked at it with dread. Another message. Another photo. This one showed Rosa in what looked like a basement, still bound, still terrified. But now there was a man in the frame. His face was hidden, but his hand was visible, holding a knife close to Rosa's face. The message, 24 hours left. Make your choice. Miguel stayed at the photo until his vision blurred. Thought about Elena. About what she would tell him to do. Save Rosa. Obviously. At any cost. A mother would never hesitate. But Elena had also taught him that doing the right thing mattered. That you did not sacrifice others to save the ones you loved. That integrity meant something. Except integrity meant nothing if Rosa died. Morality meant nothing if his daughter was dead. The whole world could burn if it meant bringing her home safe. I'm going to do it, Miguel said quietly. Victoria looked up from her phone. I'm going to give them what they want. I'm going to give them you. Victoria set her phone down. Walked over to where Miguel sat today. Knelt in front of him so they were eye level. Miguel Torres. Listen to me. I'm not letting you do that. Not for me. Not for anyone. It's not your choice. Yes, it is. It's my life. And I'm telling you right now, if you try to hand me over to save Rosa, I will fight you. I will run. I will call the police myself. Because I know how this ends. They kill me and they kill Rosa, and you spend the rest of your life knowing you sacrificed everything for nothing. At least I tried. Trying is not enough. We need to be smart. We need to. Victoria's phone rang. She grabbed it. Listened. Her face went from exhausted to alert in seconds. Say that again. You sure? Completely sure. She listened more. Send everything to my secure server. Every file. Every record. Do it now. She hung up. Looked at Miguel with something like hope in her eyes. My tech team found something. One of my security consultants, a man named Robert Chen, had encrypted files on his work computer. Files he thought he deleted but didn't. Communications with someone using the codename Shepard. Discussing the layout of the estate. Discussing your schedule and mine. Discussing Rosa. Miguel stood. Where is he? He quit 3 days ago. Said he had a family emergency in Taiwan. Left the country according to his travel records. But Miguel, his financial records show a deposit. $200,000. Paid the day before he left. Paid from a shell corporation we're tracing now. Do we know where he is? We know where he said he was going. Whether that's true or not. Victoria pulled up something on her laptop. But here's the thing. The encrypted messages mention a location. A safe house they were preparing. For when they grabbed you or me or both. It's coded, but my people are working on it. Miguel felt the first spark of something other than despair. Hope. Dangerous, fragile hope. How long until they crack it? Hours. Maybe less. Miguel, we might actually find her. We might get Rosa back. Might. The most painful word in the English language. Might meant there was a chance. Also meant there was a chance of failure. Of finding Rosa too late. Of finding her in pieces. Of living the rest of his life knowing he had failed the only person who truly mattered. But might was all they had. So Miguel would take it. Would cling to it. Would use it to keep functioning for however long it took. Call me the second they have the location, Miguel said. I don't care if it's 3 in the morning. I don't care if it's uncertain. The moment they have anything, I need to know. Victoria nodded. Looked at him with something like admiration. You know, when I met you, I thought you were just a brave janitor. Someone who made a lucky choice. I was wrong. You're not lucky. You're not just brave. You're relentless. And that's why we're going to get her back. Miguel wanted to believe her. Wanted to believe relentless was enough. But 18 months of working security had taught him that bad things happen to good people all the time. That courage did not always win. That trying your best sometimes meant failing anyway. He went back to his house. Sat in Rosa's room. Looked at her empty bed. Thought about all the nights he had tucked her in. All the stories he had read her. All the times she had woken from nightmares and he had held her and promised her she was safe. Lies. All lies. She was not safe. Had never been safe. Not really. Because Miguel had made a choice 18 months ago that put a target on their backs forever. At 4:17 a.m., his phone rang. Victoria. We have a location. A house in Enumclaw. Remote. Private. Purchased 6 months ago through a shell company that traces back to Robert Chen. Miguel, this is it. This is to be it. Miguel was already moving. I'm coming to the main house. Get your security team ready. We go now. The police. No police. They said no police. We do this ourselves. 20 minutes later, Miguel was in a convoy of 3 SUVs heading southeast toward Enumclaw. Victoria's entire security team. 8 men. All armed. All trained. All ready to do whatever it took to get Rosa back. Miguel sat in the lead vehicle, checking his weapon, running through scenarios, preparing for every possible outcome except the one where Rosa was not there. He could not think about that. Would not. The house was exactly where Victoria's tech team said it would be. Set back from the road, surrounded by trees, lights off, looking abandoned. But there was a car in the driveway. Someone was home. Someone was inside with Rosa. The security team spread out, surrounded the house. Miguel moved with them, his heart pounding so hard he thought it might explode. They reached the front door. One of the guards had a battering ram. Looked at Miguel for the signal. Miguel nodded. The door came down on the third hit. The team poured inside. Flashlights. Shouted commands. Clear the rooms. Find the girl. Find Rosa. Miguel went straight for the basement. That's where the photo had been taken. He knew it. Down the stairs. Through a narrow hallway. Into a room with a concrete floor and no windows, and there she was. Rosa. Alive. Bound to a chair. Duct tape over her mouth. Her eyes wide with terror until she saw Miguel, and then relief flooded her face and she was trying to scream his name through the tape. Miguel was at her side in seconds, pulling the tape off gently, cutting the zip ties that bound her wrists and ankles, holding her while she sobbed into his shoulder. She was okay. Bruised but okay. Terrified but alive. His daughter. His Rosa. Safe. I've got you, Miguel whispered. I've got you, Mija. You're safe now. I'm here. I'm not leaving you. There was a commotion upstairs. Shouting. A gunshot. Miguel's blood turned cold. He pushed Rosa behind him, drew his weapon, started to move toward the stairs. But one of the guards appeared, giving an all-clear signal. We got him. Chen tried to run out the back. He's in custody. Miguel nodded, holstered his weapon, turned back to Rosa. Can you walk? I think so. Dad, I was so scared. I thought, her voice broke. I thought you weren't coming. I will always come for you. Always. No matter what. Do you understand me? Rosa nodded. Let Miguel help her stand. They made their way upstairs. Robert Chen was kneeling in the living room, hands zip-tied behind his back, blood running from his nose where someone had hit him. He looked up when Miguel appeared, smiled through broken teeth. You're too late, Torres. This isn't over. The shepherd is still out there, still coming for you. For Kane. For everyone who got in our way. Miguel walked over to Chen, looked down at him, felt 18 months of fear and stress and constant vigilance crystallize into cold fury. Who is the shepherd? You'll find out. Soon. Chen laughed. You think you won? You think this is over? It's just beginning. The shepherd doesn't forgive. Doesn't forget. Your daughter got lucky this time. Next time. Miguel hit him. Hard. Felt Chen's jaw break under his fist. Felt something savage and terrible surge through him. This man had terrified Rosa, had taken his daughter, had put her through hell, and he was laughing, promising it would happen again. One of the guards pulled Miguel back. Easy. We need him able to talk. Miguel let himself be pulled away, looked at Chen's unconscious form, felt nothing but contempt. Get him out of my sight, and call the police. I don't care what the ransom note said. This ends now. All of it. Victoria was waiting outside. She saw Rosa and relief flooded her face. Thank God. Oh, thank God. Rosa, are you okay? Rosa nodded, still clinging to Miguel, still shaking. I want to go home. We're going home, Mija, right now. They drove back to the estate in silence. Dawn was breaking over the mountains, painting the sky pink and gold. Beautiful, peaceful, a new day. Miguel held Rosa the entire drive, feeling her heartbeat, feeling her breathe, thanking whatever deity was listening that she was alive. But Chen's words echoed in his head. The shepherd is still out there. This isn't over. And Miguel knew it was true. Because there were always more threats. Always more enemies. Always another fight coming. That was the price of the choice he made 18 months ago. The price of heroism. Constant vigilance. Constant danger. Constant fear that something worse was waiting around the next corner. They reached the estate. Rosa was checked by a doctor Victoria had called. Minor bruises. Mild dehydration. Otherwise healthy. Physically healthy. Anyway, the psychological damage would take longer to heal. Would maybe never fully heal. You did not get kidnapped at 13 and just bounce back like nothing happened. That was not how trauma worked. Miguel put Rosa to bed in his room this time. Not hers. He could not stand the thought of her sleeping in the room where she had been taken. Would probably never let her sleep there again. Would move them somewhere else. Somewhere safer. If anywhere was safe anymore. He sat with her until she fell asleep. Exhausted. Traumatized. But alive. That was enough. For now, that was enough. Victoria found him in the hallway outside his room. She looked as exhausted as he felt. The police have Chen. His talking. Trying to cut a deal. Says he'll give up the shepherd in exchange for reduced charges. Do we believe him? I don't know. But Miguel, we need to prepare. If the shepherd is real, if this conspiracy goes deeper than we thought, then this isn't over. We might have won the battle, but the war continues. Miguel leaned against the wall. Closed his eyes. 18 months ago, he thought he had found stability. Safety. A future where he and Rosa could just live without constantly looking over their shoulders. He had been wrong. There was no safety. Not for people like them. Not when you made enemies of people with money and power and resources to burn. I can't keep doing this, Miguel said quietly. I can't keep putting Rosa in danger. This life, this job, working for you, it's killing us. She just got kidnapped because I saved your life. How many more times does she have to pay for my choices? Victoria was quiet for a long moment. What are you saying? I'm saying maybe it's time to walk away. Take Rosa somewhere far from here. Change our names. Disappear. Let you fight your own battles while we try to build something resembling a normal life. You think running will help? The shepherd found you here. They'll find you anywhere. At least here you have resources. Protection. Support. Oh, I have a target on my back, Miguel said. Along with my daughters. Victoria, I appreciate everything you've done. The house, the job, the opportunities. But Rosa almost died tonight because of me. Because I got involved in your world. I can't let that happen again. So you're quitting. I'm choosing my daughter. Like I always should have. Victoria nodded slowly. Did not argue. Did not try to change his mind. I understand. Really, I do. When do you want to leave? Soon. A week maybe. Give Rosa time to recover. Then we're gone. Where will you go? I don't know. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere no one knows us. Somewhere we can finally breathe. Victoria reached out, squeezed his shoulder. Wherever you go, you'll have my support. Financial and otherwise. You saved my life, Miguel. I don't forget that. If you need anything, ever, you call me. Understood. Understood. Thank you. Victoria left. Miguel went back into his room. Rosa was still sleeping, her face peaceful despite everything. Miguel sat in a chair by the window and watched the sun come up over the estate, over the life he was about to leave behind. He thought about Elena, about what she would say. Would she tell him to run? To protect Rosa at all costs? Or would she tell him to stand and fight? To finish what he started? To not let evil people win? Miguel did not know. Could not hear Elena's voice anymore. Could only hear his own fears. His own doubts. His own desperate need to keep his daughter safe in a world that seemed determined to hurt her. Maybe running was cowardice. Maybe staying was stupidity. Maybe there was no right answer and he would regret whatever choice he made. But he had to choose something. Had to move forward somehow. Had to give Rosa a chance at something better than this. Than fear and danger and constant threats from shadows that would never stop coming. 1 week. He would give it 1 week. Then he and Rosa would disappear. Leave Seattle behind. Leave Victoria behind. Leave this borrowed life behind and try to build something real. Something permanent. Something safe. If safe was even possible anymore. 7 days later, Miguel Torres and Rosa Torres left the estate before dawn. Their belongings fit in 2 suitcases. Everything else they left behind. The house Victoria had given them. The job. The security. All of it. They drove north toward the Canadian border in a used Honda Miguel had bought with cash. New car. New beginning. New chance. Rosa sat in the passenger's seat, quiet. She had not spoken much since the kidnapping. Just answered questions. Nodded. Tried to be brave. But Miguel could see the fear in her eyes. The way she startled at sudden movements. The way she did not sleep through the night anymore. Kidnapping did that. Terror did that. And no amount of distance would erase it immediately. But maybe distance would help. Maybe time would help. Maybe somewhere far from Victoria Kane and Seattle and all the choices Miguel had made. They could heal. They crossed into Canada at Blaine. The border agent checked their passports, asked where they were headed, let them through without incident. Miguel drove until they reached Vancouver, found a motel, paid cash for a week. They would figure out the next step later. For now, they just needed to rest. That night, Miguel's phone rang. Unknown number. He almost did not answer, but some instinct made him. Hello. Mr. Torres. The same educated voice from before. The man who had taken Rosa. Except it was not Robert Chen. Chen was in jail. This was someone else. I wanted to congratulate you. You got your daughter back. That was very clever. Very impressive. Miguel's blood turned cold. Who is this? You can call me the shepherd. I believe my associate mentioned me. I wanted to reach out personally, to let you know there are no hard feelings. You won this round. Your daughter is safe. Victoria Kane is safe. Everyone lives happily ever after. What do you want? I want you to understand something important. You can run. You can hide. You can change your name and cross borders and try to disappear. But Mr. Torres, I will always know where you are. Always know where Rosa is. Because people like you don't disappear. You leave traces, digital footprints, patterns, and I have all the time and resources in the world to follow them. Miguel felt sick. Are you threatening my daughter? I'm promising you that this is not over. You interfered with my plans, cost me significant resources, humiliated me in front of people who matter. That has consequences. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to live your life, raise your daughter, try to find peace. And every day, you're going to wonder if today is the day I come back. If today is the day your choices finally catch up with you. I'll kill you first. No, you won't. Because you don't know who I am. Don't know where I am. Don't know anything except that I exist and I'm watching. Always watching. The shepherd laughed softly. Sleep well, Mr. Torres. Hug your daughter tight. Because nothing lasts forever. Not safety. Not peace. And definitely not happy endings. The line went dead. Miguel sat in the dark motel room, phone in his hand, feeling the weight of everything he had tried to escape settle back onto his shoulders. Rosa was in the next bed, finally sleeping, finally peaceful, unaware that the nightmare was not over, that it would maybe never be over. Because the shepherd was right. Miguel could run, but he could not hide. Not really. Not from people with resources and patience and the will to wait years if necessary for revenge. He had bought time. Nothing more. Rosa was safe for now. But for now was not forever. And eventually, the bill would come due for saving Victoria Kane's life. Miguel lay down. Did not sleep. Listened to Rosa breathe. Thought about choices and consequences and the price of doing the right thing. Thought about Elena and whether she would be proud or disappointed or just sad that her husband and daughter were still paying for one moment of courage in a parking garage. Thought about the future. About whether he and Rosa could ever truly be free. About whether running was enough or if they needed to turn around and fight. About what it meant to be brave when bravery only seemed to make things worse. And somewhere in the darkness, the shepherd was watching. Waiting. Planning. Because people like that always did. Because evil was patient. Because justice was an illusion and the universe did not care who won or lost. Miguel Torres closed his eyes and hoped for sleep that would not come. Hoped for peace that did not exist. Hoped for a tomorrow where his daughter was safe and his choices finally stopped haunting him. But hope was just another word for lying to yourself. And Miguel Torres had been lying to himself for 18 months. The truth was simpler, darker, more final. He had saved Victoria Kane's life and set in motion something that would never stop, never end, never forgive. And now he and Rosa would spend the rest of their lives looking over their shoulders, waiting for the shepherd to decide that patience was over and revenge was due. That was the real price of heroism. Not glory, not gratitude, not happy endings. Just fear. Constant, unending fear. And the knowledge that the next attack could come at any moment. Could take everything he loved. Could prove that saving one life had cost him everything that mattered. Miguel Torres lay in a cheap motel room in a foreign country and finally understood what Victoria had been trying to tell him all along. This was not over. Would never be over. And running just delayed the inevitable. Somewhere, sometime, the shepherd would come. And when he did, Miguel would have to be ready. Had to be strong enough. Had to be brave enough. One more time. Because that was what heroes did. Even reluctant ones. Even broken ones. Even ones who just wanted to disappear and let the world burn without them. They stood and fought when the moment came. Because someone had to. Because it was right. Because giving up was not an option when your daughter's life was on the line. So Miguel would wait. Would watch. Would prepare. And when the shepherd came, he would be ready. Not because he wanted to fight, but because he had no choice. Because 18 months ago he ran into a parking garage to save a stranger, and now he would spend the rest of his life paying for that choice. One way or another. Win or lose. Live or die. This was his life now. This was what heroism cost. Everything. Always. Forever.